My name is Great to the B to the T to the C. Oops, I burned myself again. Having so many injuries right now, but if you live an interesting life, is what happens. So, I was racing go karts the other day. I burned myself here. I have a burn mark. It's really huge. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it was fun to ride. And so, yeah, let's look at what I talked about on Penuel's podcast that got a lot of people worked out. It's four. It's 4 minutes to four in Indonesia right now. So that's Asia. It's too early. I have to go to sleep. So I'll keep this quick. But basically, I was invited by Penuel on his show while I was in Johannesburg months ago, and to my surprise, I saw the podcast came out, and it was really interesting. I think we talked about a lot of smart things. Two smart guys met up, talked about a lot of things, and then obviously the normal guys, the others, they don't understand it. So I want to address some of those things, and thanks to Pen for putting me on his show as well. The theme of this live stream is how to make money online and live a free life. Because in that interview, I was talking about being a slave and why everybody is a slave these days and that kind of stuff. So I will expand on my thoughts and why I say that. So the first thing that I said also was that education is a scam. So for someone who is smart already, it's an easy concept to understand. But if you're not, I'll explain to you why and why I say that. So basically, what I was trying to say is that schooling, because a lot of people confuse schooling and education. So I think of schooling as a process of learning. It can be in any other format. But what I don't like is schooling, where you go to the class every day or you go for 4 years to some kind of university to study and you put your parents in debt their whole life just so that they can pay school fees to put you into college. And then after that, you're not even guaranteed a job. You have to struggle to look for work. And you basically you enter college and you finish with debt. So my point was, if that's an investment, it's a poor investment. It's a scam because a lot of these things that you're learning from universities, you don't have to spend 4 years learning them. Now, that's number one. Number two, you don't have to pay that much anymore because a lot of this stuff is free online. Number three, your university will never be able to catch up anymore with what's important in the world. So, like AI, how many of you guys in your university are learning how to use AI effectively to make money right now? Now, I was listening to the CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, and he was saying that about 3 years ago, there was a statistic in Silicon Valley that young developers who just graduate out of college and join the workforce, developers, it would take them 4 to 6 years to become really, really good, or at least to make up for their mistakes. But now, straight out of college, these junior guys are already better than the seniors because they have no experience, but they just know how to use AI effectively. So if you're not learning things like AI, blockchain, cryptocurrency, you're learning the same shit that your parents were learning, bro, you have no chance at all. That much I can guarantee you that you're not going to succeed. I I was in Bali for months and I'm meeting all these 19, 21-year olds. They're making $40,000 a month using AI, automating everything. And you think you can compete because you have an accounting degree? It's just crazy to me. So when I say schooling is a scam, I really mean it. If you feel like you're smart, do not spend your time doing that dumb stuff. You know, writing assignments, and uh, they give you pictures of a grasshopper to mark which one is the head and which one is the tail. That's like, I don't think that's a good waste of time for someone who is driven for success. Um, yeah, so I see another comment here. So yeah, if you want to be successful, they it's really easy. You have to understand these things. And I keep saying this, and I get bashed for it as well. I talked about it on the podcast too. If you want to be successful, do not watch football anymore. Don't spend your weekends watching sports and stuff like that. Only watch highlights. It's 2 to 3 minutes. Do not spend your time smoking weed and drinking alcohol and all that stuff. Do not spend your time just wasting your time, because the only asset you have is the time. So basically, being successful requires sacrifice, and do not expect to have an exceptional life while living a normal lifestyle of the average guy, because if you're average, it's because you do average things that everybody else does. If you want to excel outside of that, then you have to go beyond just doing whatever the hell you want and start putting discipline into it. No more football, okay? Um, no more football games on weekends. Don't watch that stuff. It's a waste of time. The only people who win are the people who own the teams, the football players, the TV station. You are the loser in that equation. Do not watch it. Don't spend your weekends doing weekend things. You can use it to make money, learn a new skill, learn how to use AI. In fact, today I spent 2 hours today learning how to create my own GPTs, because ChatGPT 2 weeks ago launched a new feature that allows you to create your own GPTs, special purpose GPTs that you can reuse. So I downloaded some interviews of mine, videos, turned them into PDF by transcribing using AI, and I gave it to the GPT, and then it used it to create a model that thinks like me, and then it's working with me when I want to create content or write an email or whatever, because it understands my mentality and what I'm all about. So if you want to be successful, you have to really be into that kind of zone, man. No more football, guys. No more football anymore. It has to be over. No more Netflix. You can't be doing Netflix and chill. I meet some guys and they tell me all these movies that they have watched. I'm like, bro, how the hell do you watch 2 hours movie? Where is the time? Doesn't even make sense. I'm hustling right now. I'm up. It's 5 a.m. I haven't slept yet. It's the sacrifice that works. The sacrifice is what matters. You have to give something away for something. Now, if someone else went clubbing last night and then they're waking up in the morning lackluster like this, they're not going to compete with me because I was up at it. I'll go to bed now, sleep 4 or 5 hours. I'll wake up, answer some calls, get back to business. How the hell do you expect to compete? So you gotta be real with yourself, man. Do you really want something out of yourself, or are you just playing games? Okay, so the other subject, other than schooling is a scam, we have already established that. Everybody knows schooling is a scam. Don't waste your time doing it. Especially now, it's so irrelevant. Like you can use ChatGPT to learn a lot of stuff. If you're trying to be a doctor or some kind of discipline that's really important and it requires certification, for sure, go and get your certificates. But if you're just trying to go to school to get a job and get something to do and make money, you're wasting your time. Learn crypto. Rather go to crypto university or something and um, learn from there. So another thing I say that others might have considered controversial was that I said the poor only exist to serve the rich. To me, that is pure common sense. To some of you guys, it is also common sense, but you don't want to hear it. So I'll give you a simple example. Have you guys seen? Have you ever had a domestic worker at a house, or if you have hired a person before, basically their life evolves around you. That's what employees do. Everybody, if you work for someone else, your life evolves around your boss, your employer. So let's say you work as a cashier at the shop with your boss. You go into the same shop and you do whatever you want. You go for lunch, and on weekends you're supposed to take Saturday and Sunday off. It's a weekend, but your boss still shows up. Obviously, he owns the business. Now, on a Friday, she just walks to you and say, "Hey, I have to go see my friend to Paris tomorrow. It's an emergency. Could you stay for the? Could you work this weekend for me?" You know what you say? You're going to say yes. Even if you had other plans for yourself, private plans, you will cancel and put everything aside because you have to show up at work because your boss, blah, blah, blah. That's what I mean. Your life evolves around, your life is basically all about serving some rich person, whoever pays you. So I compared the poor majority to buck or antelopes or all the animals in the jungle that are basically meant to be eaten because that's just what it is. The lions exist to live life in the jungle. They're so chill, they close their eyes like this, they motion each other, snuggling with their little babies. And then there are all the bucks, the springboks, the impalas, they're always looking like this. If you have ever been in the wild, you know what I'm talking about. They know that they're only there to be eaten. Just like, or if you're not part of the elite, or us on the bottom, our job is to basically be utilized by the rich. And whether we get exploited or whatever, but we only exist, we get through school just to learn how to serve them, how to work for them. It's all about their comfort. So they're born to live life. They go to Paris, they go on the yacht, they eat good food. Our job is to serve, to cook the food that they want, make them comfortable, design a nice home for them, give them this, give them that. So until you break out of the cycle of poverty and you elevate to the next level, let's say you become a millionaire, then you change the status from the server to the Lord. That's what it is. Whether you like it or not, it's always been like that, and it will keep going like that. So the only way you can stop it is to becoming rich. And I'll keep it real with you guys. You cannot do it while you're broke at the same time. That's what I meant. The poor only exist to serve the rich. It is what it is. The last thing I talked about was Swiss banking. Now, I've been poor my whole life, my entire childhood. Then I made some money. And then I had to learn about how the game works, right? About Swiss banks and where do you keep your money and why do you do all these things? What about entities and shell companies? And some people in the comments were laughing about it because for them, they hear about Swiss banking only in the news that, oh, Obama had a Swiss bank. Oh, he's an evil guy. And some of them were like, Swiss banking is over now. They go to Cayman and all that. I'm like, bro, you don't really know what you're talking about. Cayman? Cayman is a nascent in that game. So Swiss banking is still one of the best in the world, especially for the large players. You cannot be a very big player and still. So what people don't understand, Cayman is not for banking. Cayman is for incorporation, but you bank elsewhere. So what people do, they set up in Cayman, in Seychelles, or wherever they want, but they bank still in Switzerland because Switzerland is still a safe haven. A lot of people trust it. It has the legacy backing behind it. Cayman is such a small thing that if it gets squeezed out, the American government can attack it and then it reveals everything. So the secrecy is still good in Switzerland, even though there's a lot of regulation that has been passed to help control things, the Swiss banking is still the best. But now, I know something better than Swiss banking. And it's free. It doesn't require you to lose all your life savings because if you want to go for a Swiss bank account, it's all good. You can do it. But you have to pay some agency to run it for you. They have to pay some lawyers. It's this old school system that is full of rent seekers. Rent seekers means people who want to collect money without adding any value. So it's consultants, lawyers, and all that kind of stuff. The best Swiss bank account you can have is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is better than a Swiss bank account, yet it's free and fully available to everybody. Now, if you don't know how to use that, just learn it. Go on YouTube, search a video. It takes you 5 minutes. You know how to do it. But if you're not learning, then you're becoming poor by the hour because your money is being devalued by your own central bank. That's also another thing that I talked about in the podcast, that your fiat currency is built to keep you poor by design, because all it does is this, only goes down. Your government is in debt right now, and the only way they're going to do it is not by stimulating economic growth. How many countries do you know that are really growing economically? Only Russia and China right now. America is in the downfall, nosedive. Japan, nosedive. All the other little, and then comes all these other little countries, Africa, Argentina, they're trying their thing, but it's not the same. So if you read in the economic history, you see that these things happen in the cycles, they go through it, but there's always a safe haven that is hidden in plain sight. And right now, that is Bitcoin. That's why BlackRock and all these institutional investors are coming into it. So you can tell by my face that I'm tired as hell. It's 5 a.m. in my time zone and I haven't slept, so I gotta go to bed now. But I just wanted to address those things. I was also looking for suggestions for where to go for Christmas and New Year's. I don't celebrate Christmas because I'm not stupid. But I like to stay away from people because everywhere it's Christmas this, Christmas tree, and Christmas music. I like to be somewhere quiet where I can think, strategize, write my thoughts, so that by the time it's the 1st of January, I came back with a grand plan to take over the world. So if you know a place you can recommend where I can go, you tell me, and I will definitely go there. So some of you recommended Cape Town, some of you recommended Brazil, Lagos, all these places. I love it. Keep them coming. I just want to know one place that blows my mind, and I shall be there. All right? See you guys tomorrow. Peace out.